back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading through the book of Leviticus. And today we will be reading the first part of chapter 14 in the NLT version. It includes cleansing from skin disease. So with that being said, let's start reading. Cleansing from skin disease. And the Lord said to Moses, the following instructions are for those seeking ceremonial purification from a skin disease. Those who have been healed must be brought to the priest, who will examine them at the place outside the camp. If the priest finds that someone has been healed of a serious skin disease, he will perform a purification ceremony using 2 live birds that are ceremonially clean, a stick of cedar, some scarlet yarn, and a hyssop branch. The priest will order that one bird be slaughtered over a clay pot filled with fresh water. He will take the live bird, the cedar stick, the scarlet yarn, and the hyssop branch, and dip them into the blood of the bird that was slaughtered over the fresh animal. The priest will then sprinkle the blood of the dead bird 7 times on the person being purified of the skin disease. When the priest has purified the person, he will release the live bird in the open field to fly away. The persons being purified must then wash their clothes, shave off their hair, and bathe themselves in water. Then they will be ceremonially clean and may return to the camp. However, they must remain outside their tents for 7 days. On the 7th day, they must again shave all their hair from their heads, including the hair on the beard and eyebrow. They must also wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water. Then they will be ceremonially clean. On the 8th day, each person being purified must bring 2 male lambs and a 1-year-old female lamb, all with no defect, along with a grain offering of 6 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil and a cup of olive oil. Then an officiating priest will present that person for purification, along with the offerings, before the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle. The priest will take one of the male lambs and the olive oil and present them as a guilt offering, lifting them up as a special offering before the Lord. He will then slaughter the male lamb in the sacred area where sin offerings and burnt offerings are slaughtered. As with the sin offering, the gift offering belongs to the priest. It is a most holy offering. The priest will then take some of the blood of the guilt offering and apply it to the lobe of the right ear, the thumb of the right hand, and the big toe of the right foot of the person being purified. Then the priest will pour some of the olive oil into the palm of his own left hand. He will dip his right finger into the oil in his palm and sprinkle some of it with his finger 7 times before the Lord. The priest will then apply some of the oil in his palm over the blood from the guilt offering that is on the lobe of the right ear, the thumb of the right ear, and the big toe of the right foot of the person being purified. The priest will apply the oil remaining in his hand to the head of the person being purified. Through this process, the priest will purify the person before the Lord. Then the priest must present the sin offering to purify the person who was cured of the skin disease. After that, the priest will slaughter the burnt offering and offer it on the altar along with the grain offering. Through this process, the priest will purify the person who was healed, and the person will be ceremonially clean. But anyone who is too poor and cannot afford these offerings may bring 1 male lamb for a guilt offering to be lifted up as a special offering for purification. The person must also bring 2 quarts of choice flour moistened with olive oil for the grain offering and a cup of olive oil. The offering must also include 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, whichever the person can afford. One of the pair must be used for the sin offering and the other for the burnt offering. On the 8th day of the purification ceremony, the person being purified must bring the offering to the priest in the Lord's presence at the entrance of some of the olive oil into the palm of his own left hand. He will dip his right finger into the oil in his palm and sprinkle some of it 7 times before the Lord. Then the priest will then apply some of the olive oil in the palm of the blood from the guilt offering that is on the lobe of the right ear, the thumb of the right hand, and the big toe of the right foot of the person being purified. The priest will apply the oil remaining in his hand to the head of the person being purified. Through this process, the priest will purify the person before the Lord. Then the priest will offer the 2 turtle doves or the 2 young pigeons, whichever one the person can afford. One of them is for a sin offering and the other is for a burnt offering, to be presented along with the grain offering. Through this process, the priest will purify the person before the Lord. These are the instructions for purification for those who have recovered from a serious skin disease but who cannot afford to bring the offering normally required for the ceremonially or purification. So in this chapter, I am seeing or thinking at least even more about the practicality of some of the things that are in Leviticus. And, for example, after you get over these diseases or whatever, or the mildew, wash that stuff, wash it, clean it. I mean, we know today, after years and years and, as the world has evolved and information is passed down, I mean, it's just common sense for us sometimes, just say for instance, after we get over the cold or flu, and take your bedding and all that to wash it and, clothes, of course, and many blankets that you may have been using and snuggling up. We know to wash those things. But, back then, I guess when things were, still evolving and forming, people didn't always know. And some of this stuff was new because, and you will see in the next part of this chapter that some stuff that the Lord brought about, I guess, to either train them up or whatever. But, sometimes I think about why are these things in the Bible? Lord, what are you trying to show me? And so I'm looking at some of the practical aspect of these particular chapters and, how things are determined to be a disease, what we should do after the disease. Of course, we're not going to be sprinkling blood and stuff like the priest, but there are still some practical takeaways from this. Especially, I'm thinking if you're younger and you're just growing and learning, it does take a while for you to learn a whole lot of stuff because you're just maturing. You're coming from baby to, but if you're a young adult and you don't know, you're out on your own, you're away from school, you're away at college or something like that, then you may not know that you need to wash all of your clothes and blankets and stuff after you just gotten over the flu. And so, reading this might, clue you in on some things. So I know that it definitely clue you in on it. So I'm beginning to look at Leviticus in a whole new way, in a whole new light. So I am excited about it. And we're just, I think we are I think we're halfway through it. So I'm excited about seeing what the rest will bring and looking at it through a new lens, and I hope that you are too. I hope that you are excited and get even more excited about it. As usual, I want you to add your comment in the comment section below. As you know, iron sharpens iron. You help me